This original WSRE presentation is made possible by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dee Dee Sharp, and welcome to this edition of The Aware Show. We're glad to have you right there. On our last program, we introduced you to several new segments that we will feature here from time to time. And one of those segments, if you remember, was Boomer Nation, where we will highlight issues of importance to baby boomers. Well, on today's program, as part of our Boomer Nation segment, we will spotlight the National Caucus and Center on Black Aging Incorporated. NCBA, as it is known, boasts that it is the preeminent national organization on issues impacting African Americans ages 55 and older. NCBA is one of the oldest and most effective advocacy groups that provides services and a voice for African Americans and low-income minority seniors. For more on that, let's take a look at this.
These clients, we have what the Department of Labor puts out as the most in need category. Right now, veterans and homeless veterans are a priority. After that is seniors with disabilities, low income after that, and it goes on down, and there's 7 different areas in the minority.
The Senior Employment Program is a program designed for seniors 55 and above to upgrade their skills, to increase their work experience, work ethics, and learn new skills.
I became disabled in 1978 due to a mental illness, and I still continued my career. And then in the year 2000, I became disabled once again with kidney failure. And my kidney failure led to 6 years on dialysis. And then the Lord blessed me with the kidney transplant in 2012. I lived on disability since 2014 when I left the workforce. And I was finding that I was having a hard time making ends meet. So I heard about the NCBA program through Escarosa. And the NCBA program has just been exceptional for me. They found out that I did have the skills that I had for marketing and advertising, and they created a position where I go out into the public and find publicity for the NCBA program. I also work on host agencies where I find agencies that will hire our participants, such as Mr. Musselwhite here at the social desk, and really trying to make a transition myself into a permanent career.
Well, here at CareerSource Escarosa, we are an employment training agency. We are one of the 24 regional workforce boards throughout the state of Florida. Our relationship with NCBA, we have had that established for more than 20 years, and it is such an incredible relationship because it not only provides their clients or their participants a place for them to receive training, but it also gives us the manpower that we need to be successful with our clients.
One of the key things that we know that we offer is basically a clean and well-maintained facility. And we are located right across from CareerSource. So we walked across the street, talked to them, and told them what we needed. They said, give us a few days, we'll bring back a few resumes. A couple of hours later, Michelle came over and said, found the right person for you, as long as you need no further. And it was Steve, and he came over probably a day or so after that, interviewed, and we hired him.
I'm retired Navy Reserve, and I first came to Pensacola in 1966 for Communication Technician School, right out of boot camp. And that was the first time I was down here. And then I went on with my active duty naval career. And from there, I went back to Indiana and was in National Guard 4 years, and then got in Navy Reserve. And I retired out as a RM1, a radioman first class at Indianapolis Reserve. And then we've always came down to Pensacola every few years to camp out at Fort Pickens. And we always thought we'd someday be moving down here and buying a house here and selling out at home, because I just love the area. The ladies called me up, and I was with Escarosa. I was looking for work and going through Escarosa, and they said, we have a good position for you. We're going to let you work in the NCBA program. Dave got together with them, and they said, we've got the perfect spot for you. And I've been here ever since. Yes, NCBA has classes, and they've got computer classes, typing classes, and they'll teach you, they'll train you for interviews. They have mock interviews. And if you're in the NCBA program, you have to do 2 or 3 of these classes per month, yeah. And so if you're just a little rusty on computer, like you know, I had to learn a bunch of things I didn't, and it was just excellent.
The program is ultimate to get permanent employment. With our age, you know, I want to feel I'm worthwhile to someone, and we are worthwhile to someone.
When I was laid off in May of 2014, and I drew my unemployment and try to find other employment. You know what I mean? Work was scarce, I guess, at the time, the type of work I do. And so I went out to Louisiana because I thought I had a job promise out there, and it fell through. Permits, federal job on the port. Job permits fell through, and I found myself on the street, basically. I knew everywhere I went, they wanted me to do the stuff online. Everything's computer, they said. You got to go online. And I had no computer skills, none at all. And so I heard about Escarosa over here, that they had some classes I could take, and I came to try to find out, enroll in classes. And while I was here, I found out about this NCBA program. And it's for older people, 55 and older, I guess. And so I enrolled in it, and there's a little, I get 20, 22 hours a week, and I'm basically still homeless. But I maintain, I work. I try to, you know, I try to be a productive person, even in my situation.
I was in the Army for 7 years and got out, was a mother, and circumstances made it to where I needed to go back into the workforce. I was in the workforce for a while, and then I retired, and when I did retire, I realized that my skills were not really what they should be. An individual, my veteran counselor, introduced me to NCBA and told me that they have this program where you work like on-the-job training. And so I was placed, I met Miss Jeanette Stallworth, was placed here at the NCBA office as a secretary. And then through NCBA, I started getting the opportunity to take workshop classes, interview classes, interview training, resume training, things that would actually improve what I've got as well as make it even stronger. So when I did finish my time with NCBA, I'd be out in the workforce and I would be much more, I hate to use the word marketable, but actually marketable. People would say, hey, listen, this person's got something that I need, and that's because of the training here. So anyway, let me go ahead and get these.
It has been going on well over 20 years, and we definitely do not see an end to it at this point because it is such a, it has worked out so well for us in the past, and we only imagine it getting better and stronger as we move into the future.
Basically, on their Social Security or whatever means they have, they need something and they want to get back into the workforce. They want to feel like they're wanted. And that's what we have. That's what we do. We bring them back in. We give them the confidence to go and look for a job. And it's a very, very successful program.
And as you just saw, NCBA believes that older adults, regardless of race, ethnicity, or status, are the fabric of our country and have earned the right to enjoy their golden years without fear or lack of resources. Its mission is simple. NCBA is dedicated to protect and improve the quality of life for elderly populations. And joining me here in our studios at AWARE to talk more about NCBA are some of the NCBA representatives here in our local office. They include John Eckert, whom you see here to my right. He is the program coordinator. We also have to my left two lovely ladies, Sheila Cox, who's an employment counselor, and Angela Dean, who's the marketing representative. Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for being here on the AWARE Show. Awesome video off the top of the show. We could actually just go home, but we won't do that. We're gonna, it's very well done. Yes. We're just gonna dig a little bit deeper here because there's some things that are kind of specific to our local office that we had on the tape there, but we wanna just kind of zoom in and focus a little bit more on what we do here locally for our seniors.
Well, basically, we bring them into the program. We will have what we call host agencies. These are nonprofit agencies, governmental type, who sign contracts that they agree to take the participants, as we refer to them, and train them, upgrade their skills so that they can eventually get employment on the outside. We're very successful at it. We have some excellent host agencies. People come in to the workforce centers, they fill out the application, we do the interviews, and we do our best to place them into what they want to do. Most of them are, right now, are clerical type positions, office type, and that's where we place them, and that's what we try to give them the best that we can offer. One of the things we like to do, and we do, is when they do come in, during the interview, we want to find out how their lifestyle is. Because a large part of getting a job is to feel comfortable with your life.
You got to have those basic needs met.
Exactly.
Food, clothing, shelter. You got to know that's intact.
Oh, yes. And if they're having problems, we try to find the resources out there to assist them and bring their lifestyle up to the way it should be. And by doing that, it makes it easier to look for a job. Much easier.
Absolutely, because you're not thinking about how to survive day to day. You're thinking about how to work and be productive, as they have been, throughout their lives.
Exactly.
Now, I know on the national level, there are components for housing and the like, but here locally, it's more about job placement and job training.
Yes, we're to deal locally with the training and getting the employment. We have other entities, but we don't deal with that in this area.
Okay, very good. And so that turns me to these two lovely ladies to my left here, Sheila and Angela. You guys have great stories here. Your background is really, really nice here that you have the background from disability. Most people would just be done, but in your age, you're saying, no, I have so much more to offer. I want to be productive. I want to work, and you're able to utilize your background skills in marketing. And the same with you, being a veteran. Thank you for your service to our country. And you have some other parts of your story that I want to kind of highlight here on the AWARE Show as well. Can you tell us, Sheila, you have some experience with even being homeless at one point. So you're an inspiration to some of our homeless veterans.
It is, when you look at it, you don't realize that it doesn't take anything for a person to all of a sudden be homeless. Now, it can be homeless as in on the street, under the bridge, living in your car, or just having to go from home to home to home to keep, yourself dry. And I don't think when you're growing up you realize that is such a reality. It's a serious reality check. When you say, oh my goodness, I've lived all this time, I've raised my kids, I've done all these things, and now I am basically a veteran that doesn't have an actual address or anything to her name.
That's scary.
It
That's gotta be
is.
scary.
It's very scary. And then when you are given an opportunity like this, it's incredible because you just feel like it's a boost in the arm, and you're going, I can do it. I can actually make something, and it helps your self-esteem.
That's
Because when you're homeless, no matter how big a smile a person has, their self-esteem is hurting.
Yeah.
And
It's-
so,
you're missing the basic things we were just
exactly.
talking about.
So then you have people that are willing to take time, work with you, interview with you, and sometimes people don't know where to start. Now, for myself, fortunately, I had a veteran rep that got me going in the right direction. Because otherwise, I just been going, I felt basically my tires would have been spinning. I've tried to go all these different places, and no, I'm sorry, for whatever reason. And I think that Miss Angela can say the same thing with some of the things that you've been through.
And I wanted to go to her next
Yeah.
too, because I
Yeah,
wanted to talk about you overcoming disability.
Disabilities,
Yeah.
right. When
An
I,
inspiration to
Okay,
the
thank you.
disabled. Yeah.
When I was 20 years old, Dee Dee, I got hit by a disease called schizophrenia. It was a terrible, dark ordeal in my life. And it affected me for 20, 30 years. And so I was disabled with the mental illness. I still worked. I still went on with my career. I had a career in marketing, advertising, sales, in radio, newspaper, and television. So I did that, and I was good. I was successful in my career. It was challenging with the disability, but I still made it work. I always wanted to be a productive member of society, even though I was disabled. That was strong to me. My father put a strong work ethic in me, and I just had to overcome my disability to perform in the workforce. So
That
I
means
did
you
that.
work twice as
I
hard.
worked twice
Yeah.
as hard. I did that. I had challenges, I had setbacks, but I worked twice as hard.
Not to mention being an African American.
Not to mention being an African
Coming up at
American
that
female
time, yeah.
coming at that time,
Yeah.
right. However, when I was, how old was I? In my late 40s, I believe. Yeah. In 2000, 2 doctors overdosed me with lithium, which I was taking for the mental illness. They overdosed me, and it killed my kidney. So I had kidney failure, and I had to go on disability. I had to go on disability and dialysis. I was on dialysis for 6 years, 4 hours a day, 3 days a week, on that dialysis chair. If anybody had ever told me a day of my life I would have been on dialysis, I never would have believed them. That was one I was not ready for. Yeah. That would hit me out of nowhere. But 6 years I went through dialysis. Then in 2012, the Lord just blessed me and gave me a new kidney. A lady who had become deceased in a car accident, her family donated their kidney, and I was the next one done on the list for the match.
What a
So I like
blessing.
to say
Yeah.
somebody died
Yeah.
so I could live. And
Something good came out of
something
what
good
seemed
came
like
out of
something
that.
really bad and awful.
Yeah, something good came out of that.
That's good.
Thank
So-
you. So I went on to after my kidney transplant, I went back to work 2 months later, and I
2 months
2
after your
months after
kidney
my I was
operation.
ready to go. I went back to work. I went back to work 2
Okay.
months after my kidney transplant, and worked for a while. Then I finally came out of the workforce in 2014. So when I came out of the workforce, I was on a disability check and no other source of income, and I was trying hard to make ends meet. And that's when I heard about the NCBA program. I would frequent the Escarosa Center using their computer room, some of their classes, things like that. And that's when I heard about NCBA. So I got started with that. They called me. I think I started in September. I've been with them since September of 16. And it's been wonderful ever since. The first couple of jobs they put me in, I didn't work out in. I was in an office setting trying to help people with computers. I didn't know what I was doing. So
I love that. Yeah.
I didn't know how to help people. I could barely run a computer myself. So that job didn't work out with NCBA. Then I went to another position as a secretary. They told me after about a week, I'm sorry, you don't have the skills we need. And they asked me, what skills do you have? I said, marketing and advertising sales. So I went out into the community. I found this program with AWHBR TV with the program you just saw. And then I found Dr. Gail Frazier. And
then you found me.
And I found Dee Dee Sharp. And so we set this one up. So I did the behind the scenes work and finally got on it.
So you're responsible for this segment of the Aware Show. Well, you were a long time waiting on the list to be on the program. We appreciate you for being patient. 6 years.
Thank you.
Be that long. But we wanted to do something for our Boomer Nation out here. And so Dr. Frazier, our executive producer, decided that we would have a whole category, which we've talked about this before in recent Aware shows, that we would begin to do more segments that would actually highlight and feature our seniors in the community. So this is under our Baby Boomer segment here. And thank you to Dr. Frazier for having that vision here on the Aware Show to make people aware of this aging population. We're getting older and we're living to be older, which is a blessing. So we need to know what resources are out here.
What you can do,
Yes,
exactly.
absolutely. And so before I come back to you, John, and talk a little bit more specific about the programs, I want to just kind of get you engaged, Sheila, to tell us a little bit more about your background here, because you have you're telling us some about your personal reasons for wanting to be affiliated with the program, but you also have had your bouts, and you came into the program and you've been working and helping and doing what you can. You have had some things to overcome. We've talked about the homelessness of being a veteran and homeless, but you're also Asian American.
Yes.
And worked and been productive all of your life. And now you want to give back, and that's pretty much why you do what you do too.
I think what it is, and we talk about the work ethics that our parents instill in us, which is really important. And my families did that. There was a real strong work ethic, pride in your work and everything else. And so, and it's like I said, I never really realized, being Asian American, that it would cause any problems. I'm just thinking, I'm here, and everything else is going to work out. And then you start, between that, and then as you got older, and of course society being what it is, sometimes they don't accept you as readily as they normally would. And I'm going, I put my skirt on just the same way everybody else does. Is there a problem here? I couldn't see it. I really couldn't. I didn't understand it, And then the fact that because I was put in a situation at a stage in life where you would normally start looking for, your kids to graduate and your grandkids to come along, and all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, I've got to start working. And I was a stay-at-home mom most of the time, except my military career, and then I worked some. I just didn't have the job skills, so I had to take whatever I could to get those job skills. And it was, I can't say it was like climbing up a ladder. And then, of course, then you start getting so discouraged. The anxiety and the depression of, am I ever going to see the light of day? Am I ever going to have my head above the water? Because I felt like I was snorkeling underwater because of that,
Nice analogy.
And it just really, it was like the harder I tried, the more I got pushed down. The harder it was for me to find work, the harder it was because of this. And then other things happened, and I said, okay, I'm close to retirement age, Still, I think that maybe I grew up with my head in the clouds. I grew up in the 60s, if that says anything. So I grew up with my head in the clouds, you know? And so I'm thinking, you know, hey, everything is going to be okay. I've got this done. I got that done. And then it was like a fish slapped me. I said, good gosh, Gertrude, I said, I don't have anything to live on. And by this time you're going, everybody is moving on and you're still here. And then you're starting to find, well, you got emotional issues, you got certain other issues, you know, whatever it might be, ethnic, race, whatever it might be. And then you don't make enough money. Or, you know, and I started seeing all these things that people that I interview now, that I talk with, are
going
and
through
the
these
same
things.
thing.
And that's why I wanted to give you guys a little more time here before we get started with some of the other things we want to talk about with your program, because I wanted our viewers to see themselves in you and to hear what you had to share with them, to see that you're meeting them where they're at. And so, and that's why your background stories were so important, because I'm sure that with what you bring to the table and the information that you have to share, that people can see themselves in you.
I think a lot of times when you go out there and, you know, you're sitting behind a desk, and there's something about when you interview someone or you meet someone on the street, if they know that they can relate to you because you've been there. It's like,
Absolutely.
I've been there, I've been homeless. I've been there because of my minority. I've been there because of whatever it might be.
Right.
And it's like it breaks down walls.
Now, here is the place where people don't think they'll end up being that you can relate to is
Exactly.
race is discrimination.
Yeah.
Sex discrimination.
Yeah.
We talk about race discrimination all the time. We don't talk about sex discrimination. John, you want to talk to us a little bit about how you guys try to overcome that issue, which is a big issue for age discrimination. Yes,
right.
I'm sorry, age discrimination.
It's all of the above.
We talked about the other stuff already,
Yeah.
a little bit, but I mean age discrimination.
Well,
Thank you very
we
much.
bring them on board, you know, and we try to lift them up and let them know that they are an actual part of the workforce. You still have a lot to give. And once they get their skills and they get into these agencies and they realize, oh yeah, I get to get up in the morning, I get to go to an assignment, I'm valuable. Somebody wants me.
Yeah.
And when they start instilling that in themselves.
So you guys work to try to instill that
Exactly.
self-esteem in them?
To help
Okay.
them as much as we can. And it's amazing how you can turn a person's life around that way.
But I mean, is this a big problem? I mean, I'm asking you because you probably have your nose to the ground with the numbers. Age discrimination.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Well, it's kind of one of those things that you probably can't prove as much, but
Well, they don't want the older worker. I think their concept is the older worker, they're looking at lost time, sickness, illnesses, which isn't true anymore. Frankly, I see the younger generation working a week, get a paycheck, and they go to the beach and never come back.
come on, John. Now we don't do the other discrimination. but listen, I hear what you're saying though. We know that there are some, hopefully a lesser number, a lesser degree than what we'd like to think, that there is age discrimination out
yes,
there.
definitely.
And that you all are trying to combat that by building the older population's
Yes.
self-esteem through your program and that sort of thing.
A lot of the older work, we got to bring their skills up.
Right.
You know, we deal with a lot of seniors, they're afraid of the computer. You know?
I was going to talk about that.
They look at
I'm not. But I'm afraid of the computer sometimes. But it can be a little
Yeah.
intimidating.
Yeah, they look at it and they think they're going to hurt it, you know. And it takes a while for them to get used to the fact that it's there, you can do this with it. And once they start learning, you'd be surprised how many go out and get laptops and that so they can start talking with and conversing with their grandchildren. Once they learn it, it's a gift to them. And then they start getting up in the world. And that's when they start really realizing that they have a lot to offer. They can do just about anything that's asked of them. And they get good jobs. Really get some good jobs out there.
Very good. So let's talk about what we offer here locally, the job training program.
Right.
You're talking about the computer skills that you all offer. Tell us about some of the other job related programs that you all offer to get our seniors back in the workforce.
Well, just about anything. There's typing classes, computer classes, interviewing classes. We bring them in and show them how to interview. We do mock interviews. We also have contracts with some of the agencies. Some of these people don't have clothing.
That's right.
So we get to go in there to get some clothing so that they're presentable for an interview. But you know, then getting their resources back up to par, getting their bills paid, getting their medications, putting food on the table. And when all this happens, you have a different person. And when they go out into the workforce, a lot of the employers are starting to see this, that all of a sudden the elderly population, they want to be out there. They want to do something. The concept was when you got 65, you were put out to pasture and that was it. Well, that doesn't hold true anymore. You find more and more people, they're working into their 70s. I've had some people in the program who are in their 80s, mainly because they want to be active. Some of them is to supplement their retirement because it isn't that great. Especially years ago when I first started in '96, a lot of our participants, their Social Security was only $200 a month. It just wasn't there. And most of them were African Americans because the way they were dealt with in the South, the kind of work that they did, nothing was ever declared for their Social Security, so there wasn't nothing there. And they needed this program. And once they got into a program and they started working and what have you, a lot of them did go out and get jobs. And that's why I like it. I retired twice. And I keep
coming back.
because I enjoy it. I enjoy working with the people. I see the benefits.
Well, you must be doing a good job because they keep bringing you back too. So keep up the good work.
Great job.
Well, now, John, you cover like 37 counties, 309 participants, including these two ladies.
I just inherited that.
Is that what happened?
February 1st this year, I inherited an additional 29 counties and 235 participants.
Okay, now how's that working for you?
We're getting there. We're still in the transition process because this is the first month. We're having slight issues, you know, of getting them transitioned over to our program. Our program, we work entirely different from the agency that we took over. And to them, it's new. But once they get into the groove and realize what we do and how we do it, they'll get behind it and they'll get on the ball and they'll start working with us and we can start working with them. Right now it's kind of hard because I go clear to the Atlantic side now.
Okay.
You know,
You're a busybody.
yeah, I got an office in Jacksonville. I have a job developer working out of Daytona Beach and one out of Live Oak.
Okay.
So they help, and then they have what we call job counselors. And as long as I have qualified people like them, it makes my job a lot easier.
With beautiful smiles like this. Make it a lot easier.
It does. You have to have the people behind you.
Sure.
And when you have the right people out there, it's amazing the job we can do. And I think NCBA is probably the best.
Very good. NCBA is funded by the Labor Department.
Yeah, it's
through
a grant from the Department of Labor.
Okay.
There's 11 national grantees that run this program, and they're all throughout the United States. When I started, I only had 5 counties.
Okay.
And then I went to 13 and then to 15 and now the magic number of 37. And it's gonna entail a lot of travel, but as long as I have the right people in the right place, I can cut down on that a little, you know. But I enjoy it. I enjoy the travel and I enjoy the people I meet. I see the benefits of the program. I see the faces on the people when they come into the program and they start realizing that, good grief, I can make a difference. You know, and it's rewarding. It really is.
And also rewarding too, I bet, on those bottom line numbers with the benchmark for the Labor Department looking at you
Oh, yes,
from time to time,
they're-
saying, is this effective? Is it working? Are we
Yes.
putting seniors to work?
Oh, yeah. We have goals we have to meet. We have placement goals and service goals and what have you. And as long as we maintain those goals, we're good to go. Right now, NCBA, I can truthfully say for the last three years, has the best goals of all the agencies.
Good.
We have surpassed all our limits, and which is great. Right now, I'm right close to 70% placement rate.
That's pretty good.
That is excellent for this area.
Yes, yes, for 55 and older
Yes.
to be able to put them back to work.
Right.
And so now, like, the program works, from my understanding, is the Labor Department funds you through a grant, and then you also use host agencies. And any of you can answer
Let
these.
me-
Go,
okay.
go right on ahead. I kind of had a
Okay,
feeling
okay.
somebody wanted to say something from this side. Go
My
right ahead.
position as marketing representative, I just got a promotion from Mr. Ecker
Congratulations.
this week, okay? It's just effective this week, to marketing rep and job counselor. So I still go out into the field and find host agencies now that will train our participants, okay? So the beauty that I tell them of our program is that we pay the participants' payroll and they get a volunteer trainee, okay? So it does not come off the Goodwill or the United Way or the Big Brothers and Big Sisters, some of the people that are hiring our trainees, it doesn't come out of their payroll. We pay them off of our NCBA budget, and they get a volunteer employee, and they love it. You know?
I could see where they would.
They love it, and everybody's just been coming on board left and right.
I was getting ready to say, you
with
probably
that.
have more people who are trying to be
Trying to
host
be host
agencies than you
agencies.
probably even have for seniors trying to work.
I've got my job cut out for me.
Yes, you have your job cut out for you.
We have some excellent host agencies out there. A lot of them, they realize the benefit of the program. They see the senior, and they work with them. They actually get out there, they train with them. A lot of them treat them like part of their agency, which helps a lot for that participant to think, gee, they want us. They invite them to their parties and whatever, and it's an uplifting experience for a lot of these seniors.
I bet it's an uplifting opportunity for the host agencies as well, because they're getting quality, qualified
We've got
employees to work for
Exactly.
them, bringing some great skills
Great
and life
skills.
experience, need I say.
Right.
Who wants to turn
exactly.
down free labor?
I didn't want to say that.
I beat around the bush on that, but
Yeah.
that's what they've got.
Yeah. But I mean, you've got so much in the free labor. I mean, where else are you going to go to get qualified individuals with the backgrounds that you all bring to the table to work?
I think that something that I've in with the host agencies that I've worked with is the fact that they know that we do our best to screen. When we interview, we try our best to match the person with who they're going with, because we realize that we take care of our host agencies,
Okay.
and in turn, they're going to be good to our participants. So it's sort of like it's like what goes around comes around, and so
Reciprocal.
they are really going to do their best to train. And we have also got to where when we put someone in a slot, we want to make sure that they have support, not only with the host agency, but with us as job counselors, as directors, as whatever it might be. They have got our support, and they know that if something happens, we're there for them, because we sort of took them when they were really, really feeling not very good about themselves, and we helped them build them up. And then as that happened, their self-esteem went up, their job skills went up, their productivity went up, and they became excellent candidates to work with these people. And so we have, I guess you could say, lasting friendships with our
I could see this being a big
participants.
family.
It's
It
a big
is,
family.
because, and even as a job counselor, I know that my job developer and my coordinator and other people. I know I can go to them, you know, if I'm saying, I'm stuck, I got a problem or something like that with a participant or even something personal. And they're there for you. They really are. And they're giving you the support that they need. And then you, in turn, can turn around and give that support to the prospective participant. And that is paying it forward and coming back with so much dividend.
And the fulfillment that I get from this job of helping senior citizens like myself is just unrealistic.
It's priceless,
It
huh?
is priceless.
I can tell by the smile on your face.
I love
It's
what
a million
I
words.
love what I do.
That's awesome.
I love it. And just, I had the skills, so I just put them to use. I love what I do.
I think the sad thing is that a lot of people don't realize that we're here. You know, they don't realize that, you know, you've got to almost hit rock bottom, or you got to, whatever it might be, veteran, homeless. They don't realize that there are agencies out there that can help them. I remember I was living in Virginia and I just needed some help to get on my feet. And everywhere I turned, oh, I don't know where you'd go. No, I really, you know, and it was like even trying to talk to veterans back there, they didn't have a clue. And so when I came back to this area here, I'm talking to my vet rep, and he says, we got a program, you know, and if more people knew about this program, you know, what we have to offer, and, you know, if it would just mean so much more. Because I tell people what I do, they're going, I've never heard of y'all.
Never heard of us.
I'm
Nobody's
going,
ever heard
you've
of
never
us.
heard of us. You know, but then again, I hadn't heard about us either until, you know. So I guess something that's really neat is when we help someone, they go and tell, hey, listen, I got a lot of help from these people. And it just keeps on going and going.
Well,
and
they'll know
going.
now because they're on the Aware Show.
Okay.
You're listening to you now. You're getting it out there now.
Okay,
You know, because we're
okay.
looking for good, quality, viable candidates. Because, like I said, we've got really good host agents.
And you have a lot of talent in the community, especially, I believe, from the older generation. As I mentioned, you know, just the life experience itself, and then when you add the work experience, and you know, that's invaluable. You know, and so I understand that you go through this program, and you, as a senior, you would come to you. You have to be at least 55 and older. What are some of the other qualifications?
You have to meet the poverty guidelines
Okay.
that the government publishes every year. Those are the two basic ones,
Okay.
the 55 and the poverty guidelines. Now they have what they call most in need categories, and right now veterans are the priority.
Okay.
And then we go down to disabled and so forth down the line. There's 7 different categories. Now, one thing that hasn't been mentioned, which I want to mention if employers are listening, we have what they call an OJE program, where we pay the employer to train these people. We will place a participant at an agency, for profit, and we will pay their wages for 4 weeks while that employer trains them and hires them.
That's
And it's
pretty good.
very successful in Panama City.
Really?
Yeah, we've done 4 just this month.
So we see that's here in Pensacola, in our area as well then?
Yes.
That they can participate?
Yes.
So you will actually pay the employer to employ
Exactly.
the senior citizen?
That's right. And they take them in, they train them to their level. See, what a lot of employers look at, they're thinking they hire somebody and they got to train them or watch their skill. And after, say, 3 or 4 weeks, it doesn't work, that's money down the drain.
I see.
This way, they take them in and they're doing it, we're paying for it, and it works. It works.
And so,
really works.
so after the 4 weeks, what happens?
They hire them,
Okay, in most cases.
all cases.
Oh, really? You got
Okay.
those kind of numbers.
All cases.
That's really good.
Every OJD we have done, they've been hired. Because now the employer has somebody in there, he's trained
That
them.
he just trained and he knows how to do it, or she.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he's saying what he's got, and they are thrilled.
Well, that's really good then.
Yeah.
I also see some mentoring opportunities in here. I know that's for another Aware show, but
it is.
Yeah,
we
I
can.
do.
We can, even if we may not be able to use a particular participant at the time, we keep in touch as much as possible by, just like we said, by encouraging, by keeping our ear to the ground, saying, I understand that this company and that company is trying to bring on people. And then, you know, I had a participant that had, unfortunately, a death, you know, and being able to be there, you know, and saying, I understand, you know. So it is, it's mentoring, it's being part of the family, it's showing that you care. You know, you can't be part of this program and not care. This program has got the caring, you know, and I think that's something that a lot of people, when you've been homeless, when you're a minority, when you've got all these things going against you, you don't think anybody cares anymore. And so when someone starts showing that, hey, I care, you don't have to tell them, just show them. Actions always speak louder than words. And that's what they look at.
And that's what makes us so successful, because when we start dealing with them, we treat them like family. They got problems, we help them resolve the problems. We're with them every day, we have contact. So and that makes a big difference with an individual. When they're out there and they say, gee, these people really, I gotta watch my wording, care about how we are, our health, our lifestyle, and they're willing to listen. We're not just a number.
Gotcha.
We're a person.
That
And that
personal
speaks a
touch
lot.
means so much. It really does.
You have 309 participants. Tell us a little bit about them. And you've been kind of hitting on some of the types of people who come in the door and that sort of thing, just to get the word out there for those who are listening now to our program. How do we meet them where they're at to say this program is for them? And I think we do that by telling them who's already in the program.
Right.
You are already good examples, and you've been sharing
Most of it's
some.
been word of mouth.
Yes,
I
yeah.
Now that I
interviewed
have this
Ryan.
young lady over here,
I interviewed a young gentleman the other day, 60 years old, African American gentleman named John Bauer. I'm going to put his name out there. He was a radio DJ for many, many years and had experience in television and radio, both on air and behind the scenes. And he just came to us this week stating what his wants and desires were for a position. And I just happened to sign a host agency that is a television station, a Christian television station. And they have an interview set up for next week. The man was sharp as a Tic Tac. Sharp as a Tic Tac.
That's really
Just
good.
well-groomed, professional. Everything about him said, hire me, the minute he walked in the door. And that was just one that was ready and willing to go to work.
What a blessing
What
that
a
he had
blessing.
those skills,
He had
and you
those
happen
skills,
to
and
have
I
a
was
host
able-
agency.
That I was
Yes.
able to put them together with that
Yes.
position.
And then a Christian television
a Christian
station.
television
Yeah,
station.
it's just really
Praise
good.
God.
Yes,
Praise
yes,
the Lord.
yes, praise God.
but as far as learning the program, any of the workforce centers, we are part of workforce centers under the new WIA law, Workforce Investment Act. We are actually a partner of the workforce centers. And I have representatives right now in all the workforce centers in my area. We have people that sit there, and when they come in, they're directed to our people. We do the application, we do the interviewing, find out they're eligible, and we're off and running. See what we can do with them.
And what's usually the time span for you guys to get them up and going into employment?
It depends on the area and how many. See, we only have so many slots per county. Right now in Escambia County, I have 32 slots.
Okay.
So I'm allowed to bring on 32 people. Now, the object is to bring them on and start rotating them out as fast as you can. so that you can still bring people on. The time frame on bringing them on right now is what, a month maybe?
Little month,
Usually
about 3
from
weeks to a
interview
month,
to time
yeah.
paperwork, and then when we find the host agent that matches them, then it is, we're looking at, I think the shortest maybe 2 weeks, but a month. And we try to tell our people, you know, just have patience. And that's when we say, check with us. You know, I give my cell number out, I give work numbers out and everything else, and that way they always know they can reach me no matter where.
In the meantime, you're connecting them with community resources that can help
Exactly.
them financially if they
Exactly.
need it for medication and or for
Oh, yeah. The minute
food,
they walk in that
Utilities.
door,
utility
and
bills.
everything,
Yes.
the minute they walk in the door with the application, they're getting assistance from us until we can actually bring them in and put them at a host agency. Even if we've had several cases where, well, I just had one the other day, I haven't been able to get them into the program, but there was a job that came up, and I called them.
Yeah.
And I told them to go down and do the interview, you know, because that's part of the program, is to get them a job, whether they come through our program and get trained, or if we can just refer them from the outside.
That's good.
So-
I can't think of any component that you haven't that you've missed in trying to get an older person back to work. You're providing clothes in some instances for
Yes.
them. You're providing the training for the
Yes.
interviews. You're providing the background training for the computers. You're getting them possibly the jobs, and you're even trying to recruit the agencies to pay them to provide the job. So I mean, I'm not sure what else is out there.
We try to
This
cover
is really
all
a
the
great.
fields.
Yeah, it seems as though you have a pretty compact organization that's really doing a lot of great things.
And we have our corporate headquarters in Washington, and we get 100% support from
Yeah.
them, which makes our job a lot easier in the field.
How many people do you think you've actually been able to put to work, John, since you've been over the program?
Ooh, at least a couple hundred.
Okay, that's
I
really
had
good.
one lady I placed in 96 at the Area Agency on Aging, and she just retired last year. She'd been with them that long.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
And she's probably do like you, just keep coming back. Well, just in keeping with, trying to give our viewers an overview into this program, what would you say to them to encourage them to pick up the phone, get more information, get involved, try to find out more about your organization?
Go to the Workforce Centers. We have a website, which I think you're going to post. And that,
We will, just a moment.
it pretty much explains the whole program. We deal with HUD. We operate senior housing in several states. We have a wellness program. We have a program with EPA. And we have the senior program. You go to the website, go to the Workforce Center, and those are your main avenues to get with the program.
And before I get to you all with that same question, John, I just want to kind of stick you here for a second and just on the note of this being the National Caucus and Center on Black Aging, obviously there was a need to do a component for Black aging.
Yes, my understanding is that it was originally formed to get money for research in sickle cell anemia.
Okay.
And that was back in, I believe, in the 70s. That was the original, that's why the name.
So it's just kind of gotten bigger and bigger
Yes.
to encompass more and
Exactly.
meet more of the needs in the African American community. Okay, it's that name, just want to put it back out there, but
Yeah,
also want to make
that's
sure
where the name comes from, yes.
Okay, ladies, someone's listening. They certainly heard your stories. If they got a chance to tune in a little bit earlier, got your background information, and learn a little bit more about this senior program that's out there that can put them to work, give them 20 hours a work week at minimum wage. What is it that you would like to say to them to encourage them to get in touch and take on a great opportunity to get to work and be productive, even in their golden years?
There are so many seniors on a fixed income right now, and they may be able to do light desk jobs or bookkeeping or clerical jobs or something like that. They may be able to do a little light maintenance or something, a light job working with Goodwill or United Way or Big Brothers Big Sisters, or who's the other one? St. Vincent de Paul. Those are just a few of our host aides. We have so many. But it's just really light work that they can do that will supplement their income. For me, coming from just a one income of a disability check, this was a godsend. NCBA was a godsend to me. That extra 20 hours a week put me over the top where I could make ends meet.
Awesome.
And I could do it. Maybe I could go out to eat once a week now. Yeah. Or buy myself a new dress or
Sure.
fix something for my house or something.
Sure.
But just the fact that you're still productive and still in the workforce and got a little something extra coming in. Yeah.
Bonus. Ding, ding,
But-
ding,
and
ding,
it
ding.
helps. It really helps.
I think sometimes, you know, it's like I said before, when you feel like you're sinking, the water line is just getting further and further away, don't give up. Don't ever give up.
No, don't ever give up.
That, you know, there are avenues out there. Don't give up. Just keep on beating on the door, and something is going to happen. And you know, if you get discouraged, that's when you're going to want to go ahead and fall back by the wayside. But don't do that, because otherwise then you'll be a statistic. And just go ahead and persevere and say, I'm not going to be a statistic. I'm going to be productive. I can do it. And so just really think about that. Be positive and think that I can do it. And that's what we're hoping, that we can reach out more and say, don't give up.
Don't give
We're
up.
here,
Don't give
yes.
All right.
We're here.
And for more information on the National Caucus and Center on Black Aging Incorporated, we want to show the information we have provided for you here on the screen. Take a look. Hopefully you'll have a chance to grab a pen and a sheet of paper or note card. Grab your phones, put it in your phone. Jot down the information here we're sharing with you on the Aware Show of the National Caucus and Center on Black Aging. Here at the Florida State Office, we have the Pensacola and Milton chapters represented, I should say, here on the Aware Show this day. And I thank you all so much for being
We
here. John, you want
appreciate
a
having
last
us.
word?
Thank you so much. Yes.
Last word, the seniors out there, don't give up.
Don't give up.
You all
Don't
have
give up.
something to
That's
offer.
right.
Yes.
Well,
May I say one more thing?
You have the last word.
have the last word.
Go ahead. You're the spokesperson
And
anyway.
For anybody who in their young age who is going through a dark time in your life, don't give up. Don't throw the towel in. It gets better. It gets so much better.
Just
It
like
gets so
everything
much
else.
better.
Gets
Exactly.
better with
It
time, right?
It does.
Exactly.
Keep living your life. Go through what this life has to offer you, but it gets so much better.
Okay, thank you so much.
I appreciate you having
Thank
us.
you.
Thank
Yes.
you all.
Thank
so
you.
Wish you the
much.
best.
Thank
You'll have
you
to keep
so
us
much.
posted.
I will.
Okay.
You were wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. That's all the time we have for you for right now. Until the next time, I'm Dee Dee Sharp saying stay informed and stay aware.